Hello folks, the Celtic Nerd here, bringing you another nerd video. Now, I was not planning on doing any other videos until, January 1st. But I keep seeing this thing all over Facebook. It's been increasingly popping up, and I've seen YouTube videos, throwing in their 2 cents. YouTube gamers, I should say. Sorry, just like sorry, folks. I had a late night and oh god, I'm just still a bit shaken and tired. But yeah, as the title suggests, these are my thoughts on FTC trying to block Microsoft's acquisition of Activision slash Blizzard. Now, FTC is citing that the exclusivity and the whole monopoly stuff in terms of against Microsoft. Now, and loads of people are in an uproar about it as well, mainly because Call of Duty, like limiting Call of Duty to Microsoft, possibly limiting it to Xbox and PC. But and now I know people were losing their shit as well over it, claiming that and all that. However, there are several interviews where the head of Xbox explicitly states this acquisition is like, even if this acquisition goes through, they're not going to limit their games to just Xbox or whatever. Now, can something change to change that fact? Well, yes, and we've recently saw that change just recently, because a lot of games that were on timed releases, timed exclusivities on the PlayStation, are now suddenly changed to exclude Xbox in that. For example, Final Fantasy VII on remake on the Xbox. Apparently, when Xbox players are not going to see that. They're like, and here's another thing, folks. Sony has had loads of leaks a couple of years ago over their business practices with third-party companies and whatnot. Emails and letters telling these companies, like these small companies, and in some cases big companies, to not do any business with Microsoft or to release anything on the Xbox. So if all these Sony fanboys, and I'm sorry, but I'm going to call you fanboys because you are completely being hypocritical, which is common to most fanboys. I want to say this though. Would I hate the fact that if Microsoft does exclusives? Yes, I would absolutely hate it. I hate the idea of exclusivity onto consoles. Now, do I understand it as a business practice? Sadly, yes, because it pushes the idea of, I need to buy this console for this game. So on a business practice, it makes sense. Do not get me wrong, but here's the thing though. If you're going to overlook the years, the decades of Sony doing this, then shut the fuck up about the possibility of your precious Call of Duty becoming an Xbox or PC exclusive. Because that's the thing. Now, I don't want them to be exclusives. as I just said, I understand the business practice, and also it's not a monopoly. Like, okay, yeah, Activision has a lot of games, and so does Blizzard, right? But here's the thing: it's not that much. Whereas if I was to list, like, okay, sorry, the volume of PlayStation exclusives have gone down, and surprisingly, they went down. The list went down as soon as the leaked emails and letters came out about Sony's business practices in the past. But let's the list is still like large, and again, there's still several of those games that are not available on Xbox. You know, they like at most they're available on PC, but they're still not going to be available on Xbox. You know, like the Jack and Daxter franchise. So I just opened up my Xbox app on my side monitor just so I can even bring up double check these games because I'm fairly certain it's not available on Xbox, but it is on PC. Um, but yeah, the Jack and Dexter franchise, the God of War franchise is not available, despite like the time that has gone by. Let me just turn on the controller. So let's see here. I'm gonna now look up. That's the that. I think it's called Stranding or something like that. I just got it for free on the Epic Store. Okay, let's see. Yeah. Okay. No, it's not coming up. Horizon Zero Dawn. Let's talk about some new ones. Horizon Zero Dawn. Let's see. No, no, it's still not there. Let's try The Last of Us. That franchise. You know, let's see. Do, 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 do. Last of Us. No. Wow, it's almost as if Sony has exclusives. And again, these are with multiple companies. I'm pretty sure. Actually, no. Sorry, correction. I'm pretty sure Jack and Dexter is by Naughty Dog. Let's see. Jack and Dexter. I'm pretty sure that's by Naughty Dog. But let's see. Developers. Yeah, I was right. They are Naughty Dog. The same company that does Last of Us. So, you know, one company that is clearly doing exclusives. What about Spider-Man? Let's not forget about Spider-Man, folks. Because keep in mind, Sony was the company that even tried to get Marvel's Avengers to only have Spider-Man. Sorry, and they succeeded. They only had Spider-Man on the PlayStation release of that game. Now, don't get me wrong, I stopped playing that game myself. But again, the exclusivities doesn't even just extend it to games; it extended to DLC, like add-ons. So please, if you're gonna support, or like FTC blocking Microsoft from acquiring these companies over the fear of exclusive games, then please do not give Sony a free pass, because again, like as I said, the Jack and Dexter franchise, Last of Us, the new Final Fantasy remakes. Apparently, the only one that's not that's only available on the Xbox is the Crisis Core one. Let me just double check. And again, yep, we only have the Crisis Core remake, which was the PSP game. We still don't have the actual Final Fantasy VII remake. Even though that was supposed to be a timed exclusive as well. It came out on PC, but it didn't come out on Xbox. Like, and again, the God of War, like the entirety of the God of War franchise, folks. Like, this is again, it's the hypocritical. Again, I was not gonna throw my 2 cents in, but like I was in these videos. I was constantly saying the support for the blocking of this whole thing, like of this acquisition. I would like, and again, everyone is just citing the same stuff. Like it's like, oh my god, the Call of Duty players. Oh no, I'm not gonna be able to play Call of Duty. Stuff like that. But again, people are like, okay, sorry. Uh, and again, the only thing that really annoyed me was the fact that like those same people are silent about Sony doing the exact same thing but getting away with it for decades. Because keep in mind, folks, the Kingdom Hearts franchise was also a decade long exclusive with PlayStation. So was the all of the Final Fantasy franchise up until 13. Let me remind you, folks. Final Fantasy 13 was the first Final Fantasy game to come out on the Xbox, and it wasn't even the Xbox original. It was Xbox 360. Like, it's just ridiculous. Oh, I don't know why. Now, this could be more on Microsoft's doing or EA's, but like, strangely enough, like in terms of backwards compatibility, I don't know why, but like on the PS4, you can still have access to, what was it called? Star Wars Bounty Hunter, which was a GameCube, release. Like, so I'm surprised. Was it ever on the Xbox original? I don't know. I'm just surprised that like suddenly it's on that. Now, like for 12 minutes, I just gave you guys the reasons why Sony. Like again, I'm, I'm, I don't like the idea that Microsoft doing. I absolutely hate the idea of Microsoft doing exclusives, because here's the funny thing: if they don't do exclusives, they release games on PlayStation. They're taking the moral high ground, and again, for several franchises that we have gotten confirmation that they're not going to be exclusives. But like, don't let me remind you, folks, that before their acquisition by Microsoft, now I always pronounce this game companies incorrectly, so forgive me. But Bethesda was trying to get cross-platform to all that, like for Elder Scrolls Legends, which is their card based game system. They were saying it's very important to them as a company to try and include as many players as we can, but they eventually had to drop cross-platform because Sony wouldn't get on board because they did not want to cross-platform with Xbox. And apparently, Sony even said, if you take Xbox out, we'll do cross-platforming. So like, I'm just tired of seeing people ignoring the negatives. Now, don't get me wrong. Again, oh, another PlayStation exclusive was, what was it called? They're doing a movie of it. Oh, Tom Holland is in it. Oh, what was it? Uncharted. There we go, folks. Uncharted. Actually, I even have. Oh, here's actually apparently in a list of exclusives. Now I will double check these. So we have the God of War. Again, still no God of War on the Xbox. Horizon Zero Dawn, still not on the Xbox. Bloodborne, still not on the Xbox. Uh, I'm just going to say the entirety of the Uncharted series to save time. Spider-Man, Ghost of Tsushima, and I try to pronounce that correctly. The Last of Us franchise, Death Stranding, Infamous, Gran Turismo, Gravity Rush, The Last Guardian, Ratchet and Clank. Now, okay, the Yakuza one, I don't know if that's exactly a PlayStation exclusive. I'm pretty sure I saw Yakuza stuff on. Let's see, Yakuza. There we go. Okay, so Yakuza, taking that off the list. It's not an exclusive anymore. Let's see. Okay. To my knowledge, that is now they're the exclusives that all got released. It goes only back, unfortunately, to 2014. Let's see. Let's actually open it up on the actual official website. Here we go. This is now we're getting to the actual list. So yeah, as I said, the Last of Us franchise, the God of War franchise, Stray, Ghostwire, Uncharted, the Demon Souls franchise, Ghost of Tsushima, Horizon Zero Dawn franchise, the Spider-Man franchise, Death Stranding, Ratchet and Clank franchise, Last of Us franchise. Oh, is Neo exclusive? I didn't know Neo was exclusive. I'll be damned. Neo is exclusive. From what I remember, that's a Souls-like game as well. I don't think it has many. It's supposed to have loads of demons and all that. But let's see here. Days Gone, Shadow of the Colossus, Detroit, Become Human. I'm not going to count VR stuff because, well, it's VR. Xbox does not have VR. So, like, there are 2 pages of exclusive games, folks. Now, again, I cut down on the list. Now, and they have as well, by only listing, certain games like some of them were re-released as collections. So like, and again, I did not really read out all the lists. I only read out ones that are. Oh, sorry. Gran Turismo. Sorry, folks. There we go. I listed some of the big ones, or at least my opinion are the big ones. So like, there are still ones that I did not read out. But like, again, folks, that's my whole point. Is like, they're all exclusives. And if you're going to allow Sony to, and again, now these are games that are just appeared on the PS4 and PS5. It's been going on since PS3, folks. And the PS2. So, don't rewrite history. Do not ignore that Sony's been doing this for like almost 2 decades. Okay, yeah, and again, as I said, I do not agree with the sale. I'm sorry, I do not agree with the. I agree with the sale, but I do not agree with the possibility of them doing exclusivities. Now, again, because that it is a possibility, folks. It's not a guarantee. Like, I don't understand why people will think it's a guarantee, but it's not. I just, again, if you're going to criticize the acquisition, criticize Sony's practice as well. Don't just jump on the bandwagon and demifying the idea that of Microsoft buying like those companies, especially if you are okay with the way Sony's been doing their practices. Sony has been doing questionable shit for as I said, well over a decade, and for the most part they have gotten away with it. But but some company, I cannot remember what company it was, spoke out against Sony, and a lot of shit was exposed. It's just don't let them continue to get away with shit. Alright. Well, this is the Celtic Nerd. My angry rant is over. Now, and again, I may be smiling now, despite this being a very serious video. But again, folks, I am being 100% serious. Like, let's end all this stupid exclusivity stuff, because everyone wins when you don't make a game exclusive. Now, I understand that some of these games Sony may not expressly own, so technically Sony could lose out on money if they were to release those games on Xbox and Microsoft, because there would be no incentive. And again, folks, my brother has a PS4, and the only reason why he has the PS4 is because he wanted those Spider-Man games. That was it. The amount of times I see him playing the PlayStation is very little. And I've been saying it for years, the only thing that Sony had going for them in terms of the PlayStation was exclusivity. I've always bought Xboxes. I prefer playing the Xbox. I don't, again, I was brought up playing PlayStation, but then I got my mother broke my PS2, and then I switched over to Xbox. So I know some people will probably end up being like, oh well, then there you go, you're completely biased. But I preferred Xbox despite Sony's exclusives. Would I love to have played God of War and Spider-Man? Yes. I still would love to do a Let's Play series of the God of War franchise. But there just seems to be no way I can do that. Would I love to do a Ratchet and sorry, not even Ratchet and Clank. I would absolutely love to do a series on Jack and Dexter. Oh my god, I love that game. I would love to do Ratchet and Clank. I would love to do Last of Us. But no, I can't. Not with the way Sony does their shit. Unless those games are still not on PC even, folks. Keep that in mind. I always just preferred Xbox because as a console it just seemed better to me. Not looking at the games, just looking at the console. The Xbox just seemed better to me. And I even remember my friend pointing out a lot of glitches in terms of Assassin's Creed were on PlayStation consoles. And I was just like, oh wow. Well, Assassin's Creed is one of those big game franchises that I absolutely adore. So I'm glad I don't have it on the Xbox. Sorry, I'm glad I don't have it on the PC. Sorry, PS, sorry. See, again, I'm so not used to talking about PlayStation. But oh, it's just, again, I just prefer that. The only thing that the PS had was exclusives, and I was like, I'm not going to buy a PlayStation just for these set of like these very specific games, you know, because then I'm gonna have to constantly unplug and replug shit. I'm not gonna do that. Like, as much as I adore the Kingdom Hearts franchise, I never did it with Kingdom Hearts. I could have bought a PlayStation years ago for the sole purposes of playing Kingdom Hearts, which was a big franchise, but I didn't because I was like, no, that's not worth it. I just I just hope, like, now apparently Microsoft, apparently the people at Microsoft are planning on pointing out what I just pointed out, that Sony has exclusives, that they have changed certain timed exclusives to still exclude Xbox. Apparently, they're like in an interview, the guys pointed out that he is going to use the emails and leaked emails and letters involving Sony's business practices of telling companies to not release on Xbox even when the exclusivity ends. So, like, with all that, I hope the FTC sees that and judges fairly. Because again, the only reason why, uh, the only claim the FTC has is the idea of exclusives. And we even got confirmation that even though they own Bethesda, any potential remake of an old game, and they also said future Elder Scrolls games are still going to be released on uh, PlayStation. Even though, here's the thing, folks. Before the acquisition, the head of Bethesda, the one that makes the Elder Scrolls games, he said they may not be releasing the next Elder Scrolls 6 on the PlayStation. He actually said that. He was like, because of how terrible the talks were over Elder Scrolls Legends. Keep that in mind, folks. Before the Microsoft acquisition, it's we might not be releasing on PlayStation. Then Microsoft comes in, they buy it, and then the new guys like, we're gonna release Elder Scrolls 6 on the PlayStation. So it's because of Microsoft that Elder Scrolls fans who are now don't go on, I'm hating the way because I love Elder Scrolls. It's because of Microsoft that PlayStation players will get their hands on the Elder Scrolls 6. Now, because of Sony still pulling their exclusive shit, maybe that will change. Who knows? But as it is now, there is not like now Microsoft has announced that 3 games are going to be exclusive to Xbox now. This is this is the first time I've heard, like, I heard about this yesterday. Xbox exclusives. Let's see here. Do 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 do. Here's. I saw this story yesterday. Well, technically I saw it this morning, but like it was like 8 in the morning, and I was just like, I read it, and I was trying to keep the dogs. Anyway, you don't know the backstory. So, Sony permanently blocks Final Fantasy VII Remake, Final Fantasy 16, and 2 other games coming to Xbox. Microsoft makes 3 Bethesda games Xbox and PC exclusive. Now that's the key to. Now I understand Microsoft makes PC, folks, but here's the goddamn thing. Like, now again, who knows? Maybe the final set. Actually, no. We know for a fact Final Fantasy 16 is coming to PC. I'm pretty sure. Let's check the store. I'm pretty certain we are. They're still getting it. There's Elder Scrolls 15. Sorry, Final Fantasy. Final Fantasy 16. No. Okay. So no list of Final Fantasy 16, but again, it might not be available for pre-orders yet. But that yeah. So there we go. Like, we have 4 games listed there, whereas Microsoft is only making 2. Well, in turn, again, now this apparently now this is Microsoft responding to what Sony is doing. In return, will be making 3 upcoming Bethesda games, likely Starfield, Redfall, and another unknown title to be Xbox and PC exclusive. So, Sony does 4, Microsoft does 3. And again, that's not listing the games that are still only PlayStation exclusive, folks. Like, to be honest with you, if both companies, right, took all their exclusives and released them for only their console and PC, I would be fine. I would be completely fine with that, because it is a level playing ground. That's the only way I'll be okay with exclusives, is if both companies did their exclusives but additionally released it on PC. Now, I have an issue with us. Now, and again, to show that I'm also fair, I do have an issue with Nintendo and their continued exclusive bullshit. I still have issue with Sony. Sorry, with Switch. You know? I really wish Switch would also, like, I would love if people pointed to those companies. Now, keep in mind, most of the exclusives that are on the Switch are made by Nintendo, so it's murky water. But again, I don't like the fact that Nintendo and Sony have been getting away with exclusives for decades, and yeah, as soon as the possibility comes out that Microsoft is buying, Microsoft has bought Bethesda. Like, they bought the company that makes the Fallout and the Doom and Elder Scrolls franchise. So, and now they're buying the company that owns Overwatch and Call of Duty, as well as World of Warcraft and Diablo. Like, okay, I understand the issue with that. But again, if you're okay with Nintendo and Sony having exclusives that are expressly not being released on PC, not being released on Xbox, then you need to be quiet. Do not go shouting about how some games may be becoming exclusive on the Xbox. You need to shut up unless you're going to call out all the companies. Not like I'm calling out all the companies. As I said, there's only one way I support the idea of exclusives, and that is if it's on the console and PC. And I wish Sony and Nintendo will do that. Microsoft is already doing that with their three listed exclusives. Now, which is again, apparently that article, it was them retaliating to what Sony was doing. So, like, let's get real, folks. Sony started this whole trend. They started this fight. Okay? Alright, I've been going at it for over 30 minutes. I made my arguments clear. I made my point clear. This is what I'm going to get back to my vacation. I still have 3 days of it, of me just relaxing, playing whatever games I want, not worrying about streaming or whatever. I'm getting back to that. Ah. So this is the Celtic Nerd signing out. One name, one sky.